You don't hate people. You hate the noise between them, the forced smiles, the predictable questions, the way words get exchanged without anything actually being said. You feel it almost immediately. That subtle draining sensation when a conversation starts circling the same empty territory. Weather, schedules, plans that don't matter. You nod, you respond. But inside, something pulls away. You're present, but not there. Small talk doesn't offend you. It exhausts you because you're listening for something else. A signal, a crack in the surface, anything real enough to step into. And when it doesn't come, you feel stranded in a performance you never agreed to join. You've always been like this. Even as a child, you noticed how rarely people said what they meant, how conversations were more about maintaining comfort than exchanging truth. You learned early that silence could be more honest than speech, and that depth often arrived unannounced, not on cue. So you grew inward. You don't warm up through repetition. You warm up through meaning, through shared insight, through moments where someone drops the mask and speaks from a place they didn't rehearse. Small talk asks you to stay on the surface, and the surface feels unsafe, not because it's hostile, but because it's empty. You can't orient yourself there. There's nothing to hold on to. No emotional gravity, no signal of who the other person actually is. You notice patterns others miss. The pauses, the micro-hesitations, the way someone avoids certain words. You sense when a conversation is alive and when it's just moving out of habit. And once you feel that deadness, it's hard to stay engaged. People sometimes misread this. They think you're distant, aloof, disinterested. They don't see how much you're actually taking in. They don't see the internal calculations, the constant attunement. You're not disengaged. You're selective. Your energy doesn't leak easily. Small talk feels like a tax on attention. It asks you to invest without return. And somewhere along the way, you decided your inner world was too valuable for that. You're not impatient. You're precise. You don't open quickly because you know what opening costs. You know how rare it is to be understood. And you'd rather wait in silence than offer pieces of yourself to conversations that can't hold them. This makes you misunderstood. You watch others bond over nothing and wonder if you're missing something essential. You're not jealous, exactly, more curious. How they seem so comfortable floating between words while you feel anchored to something heavier. The truth is, you're oriented toward depth, toward conversations that reorganize you, that leave a residue, that follow you home. You don't want to talk to fill time. You want to talk to feel time. And when you can't, you retreat. That retreat isn't avoidance, it's regulation. Your nervous system knows the difference between stimulation and connection, and it refuses to confuse the two. You crave conversations that unfold slowly, that allow silence, that don't rush to conclusion or entertainment. You listen for meaning, not momentum. That's why you connect deeply with a few, not superficially with many. But this preference comes with a cost. You sometimes feel isolated in crowded rooms. You stand at the edge of social spaces, aware of how easily you could blend in and how little you want to. You don't feel superior. You feel unsatisfied. And there's a quiet loneliness in that. Because the world rewards fluency, not depth. Speed, not presence. Lightness, not substance. And you were built for something slower. You've been told you need to loosen up, to just talk. As if conversation were a switch you could flip without consequence. They don't understand that every interaction leaves an imprint on you. That empty exchanges drain you in ways you can't explain. So you protect yourself, not with walls, but with restraint. You wait for the moment when someone says something unexpected, something unpolished, something honest enough to change the temperature in the room. And when it happens, you lean in completely. You come alive there. Your eyes sharpen. Your body settles. Your voice deepens. You're not shy in those moments. You're fully present. Because finally, the conversation has weight. You don't dislike small talk because you're antisocial. You dislike it because you're relational. You want contact that matters. You want exchanges that reveal something true. You want to feel like time wasn't wasted afterward. And when you find that, you give more than most people realize. There's loyalty in you. Attention, a rare kind of listening. You remember what people say when it matters. You hold their words carefully. You don't forget who someone is when they show you. That's not indifference. That's depth. You're not broken for feeling this way. You're not cold. You're not difficult. You're calibrated differently, tuned to meaning rather than noise. And even if the world doesn't always make space for that, there are moments, quiet, rare, unexpected, where you meet someone who speaks your language without trying. When that happens, everything makes sense. You realize you were never meant to talk more. You were meant to talk truer. And until then, silence isn't emptiness to you. It's home.